Welcome to the Sci-Fi Queens podcast, where we celebrate all things sci-fi and science. If you're new here, we ask that you hit that subscribe and notification bell. We would truly appreciate it. If you want to support our channel, check out our website, sci-fi queens.net. It's scrolling at the bottom of our screen right now. You will find information about our shows, about the queens, along with a link to our merch store. And tonight, I am your host, Nita, by the way. And tonight with me is Sarah, the Queen of Darkness.
Sorry, the dog
And
wanted to be involved.
and he wants to be involved,
Yes.
absolutely. Tiffany will be joining us shortly if she's able to. No problem. We love you, Tiff. We know. But tonight we're going to be talking about a very important female empowered movie about science. And it's not a sci fi, but this is about women in the sciences. And we are just going to discuss that because it's about time we talk about the amazing women and the amazing story of hidden figures. But first, let's check in with my Queen of Darkness. How are you doing today, Queen of Darkness?
I'm doing okay. I'm looking forward to the weekend. It's back to school week here, so it's been kind of crazy and getting back on our routine and everything, even though it's August and I don't know. It seems like school starts earlier and earlier every year.
Yeah, it never really felt like it started this early
Yeah, it seems really early,
until
but
now.
it's okay though. We're getting into our routine, so that's good. How are you doing, Nita?
I'm good. Feeling much better. I was kind of sort of sick, but I am feeling much better.
Good.
Yeah, still have like that residual kind of cold left behind,
Hmm.
but I'm doing better. I'm back to my routine,
Good.
which is important. So yeah, I'm very excited about tonight, and just excited to talk about this movie, talk about
Yes.
the great things about this movie, just learning about this movie, and the important role that we as women played in the moon
Hmm.
landing. Okay,
Yes.
and and let's just say women of color played in this moon
Yes.
landing, which is the most important thing to discuss. Okay,
Yes.
it truly is one of the most important things to discuss. But did you have a little synopsis before we get into the movie?
Yes. Okay,
Take over, Chica.
Hidden Figures is a 2016 American biographical drama film. It is loosely based on the 2016 book by Margot Lee Shetterly. It follows three female African American mathematicians, Katherine Goebel Johnson, portrayed by Taraji P. Henson, Dorothy Vaughan, portrayed by Octavia Spencer, and Mary Jackson, portrayed by Janelle Monáe, who worked at NASA during the space race in the 1950s and 1960s. Other stars include Kevin Costner, Kristen Dunst, Jim Parsons, Marshala Ali, Aldous Hodge, and Glenn Powell. Reviewers say Hidden Figures delivers outstanding, award-worthy performances from the lead actresses that bring depth and authenticity to this inspiring story. The film captivates audiences with its uplifting portrayal of three brilliant women overcoming racial and gender barriers, offering both entertainment and education about forgotten NASA history. While most praise its skillful social commentary and engaging storytelling, some note significant creative liberties, because it's Hollywood,
Mm-hmm.
with historical facts, including fabricated scenes and composite characters that deviate from actual events. So it's not a documentary; it's a
Yes.
docudrama. Uh,
Yes.
Hidden Figures had a limited release on December 25th, 2016 by 20th Century Fox before going wide on January 6, 2017. The film received positive reviews with praise for the performances, particularly Henson, Spencer, and Monet, the writing, direction, cinematography, and emotional tone. The film was a commercial success, grossing 236 million worldwide against its 25 million production budget. Deadline Hollywood noted it as one of the most profitable releases of 2016. The film was chosen by the National Board of Review as one of the top 10 films of 2016 and received various awards and nominations, including three nominations at the 89th Academy Awards, including Best Picture. It also won the Screen Actors Guild Award for Outstanding Performances by a Cast in a Motion Picture. In total, Hidden Figures has 96 nominations and 37 total wins of various awards, including a 2017 Saturn Award for Best Picture.
Damn.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, let's start with that. Damn. That's pretty
Yes.
amazing.
Yes. I thought it was, and I rewatched it today. Um,
Yes.
and I kind of forgot how good it was, if that makes sense.
Right?
Well,
Yes, absolutely makes
because
sense.
I think it was March or May last year. I did that. I did for my scientists. I did the actual Hidden Figures. I did the girls. I did the actual scientists. And for me, now that I've dug into their life story, like before when I watched it, I think I watched it when it came out, and I wasn't where I am now. I'm not, I wasn't a sci-fi queen, so I wasn't looking at it through that lens. So watching it today and like because I know their backgrounds and I know
Yeah.
I've investigated into, I've done my research into the real women that they were portraying. It almost felt like I was watching Friends, if that makes sense. You know what I'm
Yes,
trying to say?
absolutely. When I rewatched it, because when I first watched it, I had watched it prior to before you doing
Mm, yeah,
your the scientist, the actual real life scientist. But when I
right.
watched it for this episode that we're doing now, this
Hmm.
show, it was a whole different feel. They felt more real.
Hmm. Because it's not a drama and like, oh hey, it's like we know the
Hmm.
actual women that they're portraying, and honestly, I think that they gave them new life and new
Yes.
attention. And I mean,
Yes.
yes, it's a docudrama, uh,
Hmm.
but which I mean, it's sensationalized, and I love to hate Kirsten Dunst's character. God, she's a bitch.
She did an amazing job. I'm
I
wanting
think
you to
so too.
hate her.
Right, and I mean, she played the quintessential white female
Yes,
manager. Yeah,
the
and
complacent white female manager. Because
yeah,
then you had Kevin Costner's character, this white
yes,
boss, right? Who was
yeah,
done with the problem. This
segregation
one
and every.
person,
Yeah, he
the
was done with
yeah,
the
he was
problems
done with it.
between women and
Yes.
men, and he was done with the between
He
whites and
was just
blacks.
trying
He
to
didn't
get to
care.
the moon.
He was
He
like,
just
I don't
wanted
give a
to get
shit
to the
where it comes
moon.
from. Let's get there. Yeah.
Yes. And I love the fact that when he confronted her, first of all, why are you confronting your employees in front of people?
Right.
Weird. But I like that when he confronted her and she told him, uh, I got nowhere to go pee. And I can't
Yeah,
afford
I gotta
like
go.
she was just letting it all out because she truly had to go across the way
Yeah, she had
to
to go a
pee.
half mile away. And if you
Yeah,
gotta go and you gotta run and you gotta take all your crap with you, her work with
yeah,
her. And it's like,
absolutely. And so I like that his solution was aggressive and was proactive and
mhm,
was this is not happening again.
yeah,
I don't. He knew the value that
mhm,
she was bringing.
yes,
He knew and understood and appreciated the value of her work to the point where he was
yeah,
like, "We're just gonna end that. We're just gonna take over, end it,
mhm.
and that's it." And I don't know if that part was
Yeah, I
Hollywood
think
or
that was
true.
probably dramatized, but
That's a bit
still,
traumatized. But it would have been not because I don't think that in those days he could have done that. The real person could have done that and gotten away with it, right?
right.
Because
Especially with a
the
cop standing there. Yeah,
exactly, I guess, like what was exactly the point of that security guard? Like,
yeah, no,
what are you doing, dude?
yeah,
But I like the fact that they brought that to light
hmm,
because the fact was that these individuals played a historical, monumental part in the moon landing.
hmm,
Yet was treated like second class citizens in their own country. And
Yes.
that is something that we still see today.
Hmm.
And it's very sad, but we still see it today, right?
Yes.
And we may not see the segregation in that legal way,
Yeah.
but we see the damage that that kind of thinking does.
Yes. And
Yeah.
well, it's even like all, like the library scene. I completely forgot about the library scene.
Oh,
When
me too.
Dorothy was getting she got the programming book, and like she was looking for a book, and the lady's like, "We don't want no trouble here." And she's like, "There's no trouble. I'm just looking for a book." What?
Yeah.
There's books in the colored section. What? You don't have the book
Yeah.
I want.
Yeah. But that's intentional. That was intentional
Yeah.
to keep people of color from learning and knowing
Yes.
what other people knew, what white people knew, so that they didn't get ahead of them. And that's fear based. See,
Yes.
if you're really intelligent, if you are really confident, you don't have to put down another person to feel and know your own intelligence.
Hmm.
But
Right.
you
And well, it's
do it
even
when you have fear.
that. Oh, I mean, and even look when she became the supervisor, and that was that, and like that's it because she made herself invaluable. She learned the
Yes.
programming language that the computer needed, and that the actual
Mhm.
physical IBM computer needed, not the calculators. But like she saw what was coming and made herself of value instead of, just going with it. And like, I mean, I don't know. It's,
No, absolutely.
it just makes you, it's like, and then knowing that, that part is true because I've done the research and that, I don't know about the library scene, but I do know that Dorothy Vaughan learned Fortran so she could program the
Yeah.
machine. And that's just, it was
And
just like,
and that's a scene that I can see being true because we both know, and everyone listening knows, that libraries were segregated, especially
hmm
in the South, big time segregated.
yeah,
Um, and the schools were segregated, and the schools where people of color went to were not given the same
hmm
information. And then you add to that she's a woman.
yeah. And they were brilliant, but they had to fight so hard just to
Mhm.
be on a level with everyone else. And
Yeah,
like,
and tell me that they didn't have the the intelligence to be above half the people they were working under.
mhm.
I mean, it and
Well,
I
that's
one of
like,
the
well,
things, yeah,
Jim Parsons' character, he's redacting all like half the numbers that she needs to do the calculations that they want her to do, and she can't do the math
yes,
because she's like, well, that's classified, that's classified, that's classified, and then she does the math on the chalkboard, and they're like, how do you know about that? She's like, I held the paper up to the light. I mean, like, duh. I mean,
yes,
you gotta work
absolutely,
smarter, not harder. Like, duh. You know what I mean? It's just like,
absolutely, it's the
what?
truth. Hey Tiffany, how are you doing? She is in the shadows today.
Yay!
Sometimes family comes first, or always
Yes.
family comes first, especially here at the Sci-Fi Queens, and we
Yeah.
gotta take care of our little ones, right?
Yeah.
Um, that she's on mommy duty. That's right. But yes, I mean it is very important.
Yes.
One of the things that I thought this movie highlighted
Hmm.
that I thought was very crucial, very important, that is not talked about enough about the space program is the type of people that are attached to the space program. It's not just women, not just women of color,
Hmm.
but there were individuals that were part of the Nazi regime.
Hmm.
And NASA turned a blind eye to the things that they did,
Because
that they
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 wanted those
wanted what they
scientists.
wanted. They wanted those
Yeah.
scientists. Yeah.
And they wanted to
And
get to the moon and yeah.
I love the concept of NASA. Okay. What they're trying to do, space exploration, traveling to the moon, and getting. But a lot of times I feel like how we get there is just as important as getting there.
Yes.
And suppressing individuals like women, like black women who
Hmm.
made these things possible, suppressing their voice, making them feel small, but yet elevating individuals who were involved with the horrifying events of the Holocaust. It creates a little bit of a confusion to me. Um,
Yeah.
how do you justify that level of ugliness? Like you could have been elevating these women. These women could have done their job 10 times better because when
Yes.
you are able to figure out how to do the math on a document that half of it is redacted, I can't do the math when I see the numbers. Let's just be real.
Right.
Math and me don't get along. Math is my nemesis. She's
Yes.
figuring out math in a way it would have never occurred to me to put it against the light. It would have never occurred to me to do half the stuff she did. But she did it. She figured it out. And it's like, how are we how are we justifying not saying these women could have done the job of these horrible individual men that came
Hmm.
from such why are we letting those people in NASA? They shouldn't be anywhere near science. These people should
Yeah.
be excommunicated from science. Um, but yet they were so involved. And these are the people that you hear about historically,
Hmm.
and that's why movies like these are necessary. Movies like these teach us about the real history. Now, Tiffany says exactly, stepping on women seems to be how history happens. There's always women in the background, and most of the math was theoretical, but they got it done, and that's true.
Hmm.
I mean, they got a human being to walk on the moon.
Yes.
And what we need to understand that we may not be aware today is that race in the 60s of trying to get to the moon, who's going to get there first, was one of the biggest things happening in science. That
Yeah.
that gave people hope, that gave people something to look forward to for the future.
Well, and I think that in this movie that they did portray that, the space race with the Russians, and that, how they got our satellite up, and we don't know what the satellite's doing. Yeah, it's just a radio satellite. It's not, they're like, it's a
Hmm.
spy satellite. It's taking pictures. Like, for real, the science isn't even that advanced yet, but okay, you
Yeah.
know, it was more, they were thinking more sci-fi than real science, but like,
Hmm.
okay. But I mean, and like you said, that's, it gave people something to not only hope, but it gave them something to unite behind. That, is the American space race,
Yeah.
getting the man on the moon, and,
Yeah.
you know,
And that
getting,
That Cold War
yeah,
was real because I
yeah,
grew up during a time where that Cold War existed. That was actually happening when I was in school,
yeah,
and it was real. People feared what then was called the USSR, which is
yeah,
now Russia. People feared. People feared
yeah,
in a way that they don't understand or feel to a day.
yeah,
It was huge, and to get there before them was a big, go America go kind of feeling. And everybody, it united the country, it really did. It united people's mentality of, yeah, it gave them patriotism, it gave them, oh yeah, let's do this. And it The sad part about that is that they were so involved in that they forgot the beauty of the science behind it.
hmm,
Okay. And I think that had we joined science forces instead of trying to compete with one another, how much further could we have gotten?
right.
Yeah.
What more could we have accomplished
Yeah,
than
absolutely.
what we did manage.
Absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
and
Yes.
then look at, okay, so we went to the moon, and we went to the moon for a couple years, and then we haven't been back till just this year in April. And
But
we
did
didn't
we
even
land? You
no,
haven't.
we haven't they haven't touched down yet. They just went back. They went around the moon, and they went around the
Yeah.
dark side of the moon. But
And that's
like
big. That's really big. A lot
it
of people
is, but it's
complain that,
taken us
oh, we
this
haven't
long
landed.
to get
Yeah.
back.
Yeah, but here's the thing: people complain, "Oh, we haven't been back. Why haven't we landed? We did it before. That means that it didn't happen." No, that's not what that means. We landed on the moon.
Hmm.
Okay, it takes billions, literal billions of dollars to accomplish this. It takes
Yes.
years of training to get people to train, and NASA backs up their backup plan after a backup plan. They have a
Hmm.
plan A, B, C, D, and F. Like they don't play. The slightest thing that goes wrong becomes a big issue and becomes something that they focus on, right? Because they
Hmm.
want to make sure that they don't lose astronauts. Okay.
Right.
And landing on the moon, even for a few seconds, it's it, the resources it takes to get there is astronomical. um
Yes.
and I think we should respect the process and just truly appreciate the science. Those men and women that have
Hmm.
circled the moon have accomplished something none of us will.
Yeah.
I will say that if somebody in NASA gave me a call and be like, "You want to be on the moon?" I'd be like, "I'm there. Call me, Poppy. I will train. I will do it immediately. Yes, I will
Yes.
be there." Um, but not a lot of people do get to go.
Hmm.
Not a lot of us even get to go out of space, which is slightly different than going all the way out into the moon,
Yeah.
right? Because you can go past into space without necessarily going that far out. But
Yeah.
it is a
That's
huge
Katy Perry.
accomplishment. Yes. Yeah, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. I know we are.
Yeah.
Oh, and Tiffany, in true Queen of the Nerds format, says, like I for All Mankind's series on Apple TV, they started working together, all of the nations, and they made it to Mars. You see, that's what I'm saying. Yes, and
Yeah.
I'm still watching that, but so thank you for spoiling it. But
Yeah.
no, it's okay. I don't mind a spoiler. But
Yeah.
it's true. If we work together as a world, we could get further. Because instead of us, no, you don't have to say sorry. Instead of a little bit of information, instead of a little bit of science, we would have tons of science working on our behalf, working on humanity's behalf, right?
Yes.
Getting us further. The fact that we are doing this is huge, and it does benefit us. It teaches us so much. It forces us to become creative, to invent, um, and technology that is used in NASA is technology we see in our world today. They were the first to use computers. Okay. And we have them because they went through the process of what we would call a beta reader. They beta computed them. Okay, they
Yeah.
used
They
them
beta
on
tested.
parks.
Yep.
They beta tested all of this. NASA's accomplishments benefits us. We wouldn't have what we have today if we didn't have NASA. And it's very important to appreciate the work that they do. And I think this movie highlights that work,
Hmm.
and it highlights women in a way that women were not and are not seen, which are math savvy, right? Math
Yeah.
geniuses. Okay, so I'm an embodiment of that because I'm terrible at math. But that doesn't mean that every woman is and that every woman doesn't like math. No, these women proved that stereotype 100% wrong,
Hmm.
despite the adversity of not having the same level of education at the very beginnings of their educational careers as others did, because they had to go to segregated schools that were given less. Historically, that is a fact. Segregated schools, black schools were given less,
Mhm.
and they had to work 10 times harder to learn and to keep up with everyone else. Because if they didn't, then the stereotypes of them not being smart enough, them not being capable enough, was going to start to be real. And
Yeah.
they defied all of that and got a man to walk on the moon. I'm just saying.
Well, that's like Janelle Monáe's character that she portrayed, Mary Jackson. She was the
Hmm.
first female engineer at NASA, and she was African American. So, I mean, man or woman. So she
Yeah.
was the first of so many things, and she had to fight so hard to get there.
Yeah.
And I like that the movie didn't gloss over that. Like they I mean they probably dramatized it some, but they showed that she had to fight. She had to go to court and get a court order saying that she could go to that white only school. And that's
Yeah.
that
I mean, you have a daughter
there's
who's mixed race. How would
yeah,
you, as a mother, feel if someone told you your daughter cannot go to this school, not because she's not brilliant, not because she's
yeah,
not capable, not because she doesn't have the talent, but because she's mixed race?
yeah,
And if you want her there, where you as a mother know this will be the best place for her, you need permission. Like,
yeah, that's ridiculous.
I can't even begin
I
to imagine
am
what a parent feels when something like that goes on.
yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna leave that to you. How would that be for you?
It would infuriate me because I mean, we shouldn't have to. I mean, I'm glad that we don't have to deal with that now mo for the most part. Um, and that she's in a special school and she's in
Yeah,
a STEAM STEM school, and they focus on hands-on learning and teaching them so much, and it's not just the regular stuff that they learn that too, but they have extra classes. And if somebody wanted to take that away from her, I don't know what I would do.
yeah. I mean, because the science projects that she has done have been amazing.
Hmm.
So I mean, and this may not seem like it's in line with this movie, but it is, because
Yeah.
these women had to struggle to get the education they needed
Hmm.
to be where they needed. And then they were demanding that they had more educational certifications and degrees from schools that they were not allowed to go to.
Yeah, it's late. Yeah, and that's what she said. She said, that was the snide remark she made. She said, every time we get to the finish line, they freaking move it.
Yeah, but
And
exactly, yes.
it's not just women of color, it's women in general.
And women.
And
Hmm.
because not only did they want to, the establishment, I will say, the way it was, wanted to keep it the way it was. So they didn't want women, and they especially didn't want women of color. And it didn't fall into line with the way that they were thinking. That's like Jim Parsons' character. He was so fucking rude.
Oh, oh, incredibly rude.
I wanted to slap him. I'm like, oh my God, dude. Like, he just, oh, this is dummy work. This is dummy work. You don't need to
And
be here. You
let
don't
me
need to do
let
this.
me tell you
Yeah.
something. I love him
Oh, I love him
as
too,
an
but
actor.
not that character, man. Mm.
And he played that character so well because all you wanted to do was hate him. Just like Christian
Yeah,
Dunn's character. I'm gonna give her props
yeah. No,
because
she did a good
you
job, but
wanted to hate her. You did. You wanted to hate her. And these women who played these beautiful real life scientists made you just want to embrace these characters with them. I mean, when she was telling him about having to go a mile away to go to the bathroom, the passion, the just the passion and the intensity of that scene, you could have ended the movie there
yeah,
because you didn't need anything else. Like it was like, yep, Yep, sister, I hear you. Amen. Like, and she
Well,
just took you. She
well, and
took you
she's
to the
standing
next.
there dripping wet because she had to walk in the rain too. And
Yes.
and it's like, well, where the fuck have you been? And like, well, I had to go to the bathroom. Well, why
Yep.
does it take 40 minutes? Because I gotta walk a mile.
And
Like,
what's interesting is, and this goes back to show us that when something doesn't directly affect us, we don't think about it
you're blind to
because
it.
he's
Yeah.
standing there going, "Why are you going a mile away? The bathroom's right there." Not for me. And he's like, "What? I,
Because he just
what?"
sees her as, which I mean, that was the beauty of him, is he just saw her as a mathematician, not as a colored woman. I mean, he just
Yes,
saw.
I think that that's partially true, but it's also true. Could be also said that his character not having that experience
Mhm.
did not understand what she was
Yeah, he was
saying
blind to
because
it.
he was blind to it.
He
Yeah,
has the privilege of being a white man, and that's like when they go into the Pentagon briefing, and you know Jim Parsons' character was, you can't go, and he's like, Kevin Costner's like, what's the problem? She's like, I need to be in there because things are always changing. I need to hear it. And then, he's like, well, who makes the rules? Well, you're the boss. You do. Just act like it. And like, okay. And they just all went along with it because you just need, and sometimes that's all it takes is one person to, to blaze the trail basically and
yeah,
act like they know what they're freaking doing, and then everybody else just falls in line. Oh, okay, this is what we're doing. You
exactly.
know.
Yeah,
So anyway.
no, I'm with you. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, it's like when Kristen Dunst's character, she's like, "Well,
Hmm.
no, you can't because you don't have this, and that," and that woman is standing there going, knowing she's 10 times smarter. She could do the job she wants and that other woman's job blind. Like and the thing was like, you're telling me I can't do it because I don't qualify, but you have me doing it. You just don't think I should get paid to do it.
Yeah.
And that just that I felt for her. Like I was like,
Hmm.
I truly felt for her character. I truly felt because that's real. That was happening then to women of color and most women, and that
Yeah.
happens now. We are
Yes.
not equal. We do not get the pay that we deserve. And most companies do not pay women the same thing as men.
No.
It, we are underpaid by so much.
Even
I don't
even
know why.
though
We
even
pay the
though
same rent.
sometimes we do
We
more work and
Yeah,
do just as much, if not more work, and have more responsibilities.
yeah.
It doesn't make
And
any
the thing
sense.
is that, we're not paying less rent or pay less for groceries or doing less. We have the
Right.
same expenditures. We're doing the same work. We are just as qualified as anyone else. So why exactly is that? Because of our assigned gender at birth?
Yeah.
That is like as disrespectful as it gets. You know,
Yes.
because you knew they did all that work, and 99%, I am 99% sure that they did not ever get paid their worth.
Right.
I'm sure of that. They did
Well, I
not
mean,
get
the
paid.
one of the things I did like about Kevin Costner's characters is like, this shit ain't working. I ain't paying any of you. When they couldn't figure out the computer, he came in that room and he's like, "You're the computer guy. Well, get it working. And until you do, ain't nobody getting paid."
Yep, yep. I
I
like
mean,
the his attitude about it.
well, you
And
can't just
I don't.
stand around and hope things are going to work out and then
Mhm.
still receive a paycheck. That's not how life. I mean, it's not how it should work, anyways.
Exactly, exactly. Um, and I like that they took this story and
Hmm.
they shared it. Um, but the sad thing is that, and I mean, it won so many awards. It was voted and nominated,
Yes.
well deserved, 100% well deserved.
And I mean, it
Um,
had an all-star cast.
oh, that cast was phenomenal. I mean, every single one of these actors, oh, they're legendary actors,
Yes.
and the actresses that played these three scientists, legendary. I don't even know if these women ever got to meet the real life scientists.
They did.
They did. Oh,
Yes.
I would have been blown away.
Yes. They each got to sit down or talk to them on the phone because I think yeah, yeah, they talked to all of them. Because I know that when I was doing the research that today that Octavia Spencer spent time with Dorothy Vaughan.
Oh, that's beautiful. That really
Yeah.
is. Because I mean, I know that, when you're doing a real character, it's a touchy situation because you want to embody and capture that person's essence, that person's personality, uh and kind of give it that flair of your own, right? Because it is a
Yes.
docudrama, it's not a documentary. That you listen, I will be down to watching a documentary about this.
Yes.
That would be beautiful, because I think that absolutely is necessary. Now, Tiffany says Taraji Henson had never heard of these women before she got the script. She was furious that this history was hidden from us and the public. And I'm with
Hmm.
her. I never heard of these women until this movie. That's why movies and books are necessary. That's why movies and books are needed. Because why were we not learning this at the same time that we learned that a man
Hmm. Yeah.
walked on the moon?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
got.
Oh, Charasi also said also is in real life studied electrical engineering. Oh, nice. So there's like that whole personal understanding of what's happening at a level that another actress may not have had, which is really great. But yes, I'm with her. I never heard of these women
Right.
um until this movie. And I think that that is really really sad, right? Because we should have been learning about that when we were learning about the man
And the
walking on the moon.
astronauts. I mean, and even to that point, we learned about the astronauts who were on the ground. We didn't learn about the people who got
Hmm.
them there. Man,
Hmm.
woman, it doesn't matter. White, black, it doesn't matter. We didn't learn about them. We learned about Buzz Aldrin and John Glenn and
But people got them
yeah.
there. They did the training. They're smart. They deserved it. They earned
Yeah.
it. But people got them
They
there.
were they were there, they were along for the ride. They were the cargo. They weren't, I mean, they had to learn to to do things, but they weren't the ones that did the calculations and did the math and built the systems and, tested the systems and all of that. It's just like, how come we don't learn about these things?
Yep. Now,
And
Tiffany is sharing some information with us, which I think is really important, because I think that with all of NASA's faults, one thing that we can say is that they have tried to rectify their
yes.
past mistakes. NASA was fully on board, Tiffany says, NASA was fully on board when the movie was greenlit. They poured over the records to get things accurate for the movie.
Hmm.
Uh,
And then
yeah,
actually
those are documents that one can say are
And then if
important.
you actually go to nasa.gov, and then there's a special page, it's / from hidden to modern, and there's a dash between each of them. They have a whole page dedicated to these women, and it's talks about how the film brought them to the light, and that they're rectifying that. There's a whole still,
Yes,
this many years because it came out in 2016. So still, 10 years later, they still have this page up so that women and girls and anyone really can see and learn about them.
absolutely. Yeah, I see. Guys, you got to go to that. What's NASA's website? NASA.com or .gov?
Yeah, nasa.gov, And
Yes,
then what you're looking for is the page is titled From Hidden to Modern Figures.
absolutely beautiful, absolutely beautiful, because
Hmm.
they're and one thing, they fix their past mistakes. They have made some pretty sketchy decisions on who they let
Yeah, let
on
in.
board. But the fact that they're doing this to honor these women,
Hmm.
these beautiful, intelligent Black women, is a huge thing, because this benefits not just Black women or just women, but it benefits any person of color, any person who's seeking to be in the sciences. It really does open up doors for all of us.
Yes.
And that's really powerful. um and of course, we can't talk about NASA and science and walking on the moon without mentioning the Queen, Nichelle Nichols,
Yes.
because she may have been an actress who portrayed a fictional space character, but she open doors for women and people of color in Nassau, with her charity work, with all the work that she does that still exists today.
Hmm.
Um, and she's made it possible for people to be showcased and seen. These women, unfortunately, had to fight and struggle, right? They didn't have that benefit. But let's
Yeah.
honor those that came before us, that opened doors for us, that made it possible for us to be who we are. Um, because without them, we would not be where we are. Without them, we wouldn't have had a man on the moon. So, for those of you macho men who think you don't need us, think again, because you wouldn't have the accomplishments that you do without us.
Right.
That's the takeaway here. That a group of Black women got us to the moon. Okay,
Yes.
that's just the truth.
And that
And
was amidst the civil rights movement too. So that's, I mean,
mhm,
that was, I'm glad that they highlighted that in the movie too, that it was, part of that whole
yeah.
time. It was all happening at the same time, and it's a lot.
Yeah, there was a lot going on. It wasn't just these women in Nassau struggling to be seen as Black women, as mathematicians, but they
Mhm.
were fighting, a silent war of segregation. They were fighting a silent war of the civil rights movement. They can't even have a flat tire
Yeah,
without
without
being
being
questioned.
worried.
Did that
Yeah,
man even say, "Hey, can I help you with your car?" Nah, this is not the place to break down. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me break down in an appropriate neighborhood next time. I don't think
yeah,
you understand how that can't be planned. You're gonna break
yeah,
down wherever you're gonna break down. And that's
yeah,
a real thing. That's a real thing that was happening in the 60s. That if you drove and you're a person of color, you broke down somewhere, or you got a flat tire where you that was not that could be dangerous. That
yeah,
meant life or death. That moment, that scene that these three women have, was a life or death moment. It may have not been for anyone else, but for women and women of color, was a
yes,
life or death moment when they saw that police officer come their way. That fear sets in, and they had to make a choice. You know, I mean, nothing they said, or it- any way they addressed him, could have cost them their life.
yeah,
It's terrifying that you can't even defend yourself.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's scary,
And that is what we women go through.
always, and still.
Always. There's never a good place for a woman's car to break down, or time of day, because you may have good intentions in helping us, but we don't know that. All we know is that our defenses will be up, and it's every man until it's no man.
Yeah,
That's just the truth. That is how we as women need to protect ourselves. And these women were in danger. Saw that scene, and the first thing was my heart was pumping. I'm like, oh, that is a dangerous situation to be in the South.
Yes.
But they made it to work. And and not making it to work on time was even a bigger deal for them because they were women of color. And they were being scrutinized and judged at a higher level than anyone else.
Yes.
Any other woman would have been like, listen, I got a broke, I broke down. And the men would have been on their case, but no one else. They had to deal with the Christian Dunn character being on
Hmm.
their case, which is a whole different vibe right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
terrifying.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Well,
terrifying.
and especially since women should support women, not be like that. And
Yeah,
I would hope that my hope for society is that we're more supportive of each other than critical and,
mhm,
and that attacky. I mean, it still happens, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm trying to say. And
absolutely.
I sometimes we need movies like this to show us what we don't see, like Kevin Costner's character not even seeing, you know,
Yeah,
and sometimes that's what we need to do. We need to watch these kind of shows and movies so we can see
yeah,
things that we don't normally see and get a perspective on something that we don't normally have.
yeah, absolutely. Seeing the other side of the coin gives
Yes.
us an understanding and a compassion and an empathy that I
Yes.
think this world often lacks.
Yes.
Yeah, and it truly is a sad thing.
Yes.
But before we close for the night, is there anything you want to say before we announce our next episode?
No, I'm good.
All right. So our next episode will be August 21st, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to talk about female icons in sci-fi. What? Yes. We are going to talk about these women who have made the genre what it is. And we're going to bring that to you August 21st at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. And thank you guys for sticking with us, for being there. I hope you enjoy your night and the rest of your weekend. And stay cool in this horrible heat we're having.
Yes.
Alrighty. Good night, guys. Thank you for watching the Sci-Fi Queens. And be sure to support us on all our social medias. And check out our website